reporting. Appreciate it. Joining me now, Democratic Congressman Mike Quigley of Illinois. He is part of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thank you so much for being with us. First, I want to get your reaction to our reporting right there. The IRS now sharing information with the special counsel's investigation. Do you think that gets anyone closer to seeing the president's tax returns?
I think it's a natural progression. Obviously, we're talking about Russian influence in the democratic process and the Trump empire. It's not hard to imagine that they're beginning to delve into the economic aspects.
Again, to be clear, we don't know that they are part of it yet, but we do know that the IRS is now cooperating. Now, you were part of a hearing yesterday with Trump confidant Roger Stone, the famous political operator. You said after he came and testified in private, I asked Roger Stone the one question he refused to answer, the question critical in explaining his connection with WikiLeaks. What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, what he said afterwards is he wouldn't answer who the intermediary was between him and WikiLeaks and Julian Assange. You know, putting this in context, Roger Stone is the one who said he had contact with Julian Assange. He's the one that said he knew that Mr. Podesta was next in the barrel. So clearly there's a fundamental reason we want to know who he was talking to get to Julian Assange if he wasn't talking directly.
He says it was a reporter. He says it was a reporter. Are you willing to subpoena that? Are you willing to issue a subpoena to try to get that information?
We left it with Roger Stone to come back and answer that question or face a subpoena. And remember, Roger Stone was the one who said he wanted yesterday's to be a public hearing. He wanted the transcript released. He wanted to tape record it and let the public hear. The fundamental question from that meeting, that is perhaps the crux of his involvement with Russian involvement in the democratic process, was who is he talking to talk to Julian Assange? He needs to answer that question, either voluntarily or by subpoena.
Another thing Roger Stone said after the hearing, he said that Paul Manafort, who I guess he is friendly with, believes he will be indicted. Do you believe that to be the case?
We have no knowledge as to who will be indicted or when they might be indicted. For someone from my hometown, it's clearly the path that you see, FBI raids and discussions about subpoenas and so forth. Obviously, it wouldn't be a big surprise, but again, we have no direct knowledge as to who might be subpoenaed and when they might be indicted.
You were part of a public panel this week where you said, if you had seen what I have seen, you'd want me to go full throttle on the Russia investigation. So it begs the question, sir, what have you seen?
Look, I think this investigation has gone now almost a year. And the evidence that we have seen, the documents we have read, the trips I have taken, the people we have interviewed, for those who, including the President of the United States, say this is a witch hunt, or for those who say that we're relitigating the election, let us complete the investigation. There's clearly enough investigation to be very concerned, not just with what the Russians did, but the fact that, as Director Comey said, they will be back. And extraordinary concerns about involvement here in the United States with the Russians. At this point in time, let me be clear, we are far closer to the infancy of this investigation than its completion. Let us do our work. We're doing it the right way, following the facts wherever they take us, not rushing to judgment. All I'm suggesting is, if you'd seen what I had seen, you would want us to go forward.
Facebook has turned over some of its ads, it says, were purchased by Russian operatives. The chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Richard Burr, says that he has seen no evidence yet of collusion between Trump associates and the Russians to get these Facebook ads up. Have you?
I never disclose what I've seen to the direction of absolutism in terms of whether there was collusion or not. What I suggested was that there's preliminary evidence to believe that there was coordination. I don't know what the word collusion means from a legal point of view.
Coordination on these Facebook ads? The Trump campaign?
No,
Trump
I didn't say that.
Coordinated on the Facebook ads? Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm talking about coordination. Look, if someone had told me months ago that we would have acknowledged emails to Trump Jr. in which he said, if that's what it is, I love it, I would tell you that that was the smoking gun in which Trump Jr. was at least acknowledging his willingness to coordinate. So, again, let the investigation take its course. We're not jumping to conclusions. I mean, you don't ask a jury a quarter of the way through the trial, you know, is the person guilty or not? Yet, you let this investigation take its course. I'm not prejudging one way or another. I'm telling you there's enough evidence to go forward, whatever our friends in the Senate say.
Congressman Mike Quigley of Illinois, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.